TinaGale here, and I am back today with another process video. And it has been ages since I've done a Freaky Fast Friday challenge. This is a challenge that's put on by the ScrapRoom every month, and I will have links down below, so go check it out. But what it is they give you a formula, so you pick out patterned papers, you cut it to the sizes they tell you, and then that's all the pattern paper you're allowed, and you just sit and you play with it and you move it around the page until you come up with the design. It's so much fun, and most of my layouts are always incredibly quick when I do these challenges. So this is one reason why it's my favorite. So I thought I would show you, I've already cut my papers, but I thought I would show you. I'm using the Jelly Bean Soup You Make Me So Happy collection. So this came in the January Flavors of the Month kit, but you could use anything that you want. These are the 4 papers that I chose to work with. So I have some of this flower that I cut up, and I also used the back side, which is the pink with the scalloped. This one here, I'm thinking about cutting some of those, fussy cutting them, but I used the green side. This one that has the polka dots on the blue was the side that I used. The back is this leaf pattern in the green. And then this fun script pattern on the black. And the back are plants. So those are the papers that I chose. And then I also have embellishments that came with the kit. So these are the embellishments that came. And then I also have, so this came in the embellishment add-on kit, which I always recommend people to pick up. Especially if you're like me and you love embellishing. So I'm thinking I might try to use one of those on there. I've wanted to play with just white on white. I think that's such a cool look, and it's something very different than what I normally do. So okay, let's get to the paper that was cut. So the first measurement they gave you was a 12" by 2". And normally when I start with those sizes, I pick a stripe, diagonal stripe, something like that for my long skinny strips. Even though this one's a 2". I probably would have normally went for a stripe, but this collection didn't have any, unless, I mean, that would be the closest thing to a stripe is that pink, but I didn't want that. But another good pattern for sizes like that are papers that have script on it, words, phrases, things like that. So I chose to do that. Now the next thing you have to decide is, which way do you normally scrap? Because this definitely has a pattern to it. It's gonna have to go vertical, or I mean horizontal. It cannot, well, I mean, you could do it vertical, but you're gonna have, everybody's gonna be tilting their head to try to read it. So you need to stop and think, how are you most likely to put that on your page? Are you going to run the long strip this way or this way? And most people have a direction that they normally scrap, and I think this one is probably more out of my comfort zone. I'm probably not, you know, like this, doing horizontal like 90% of the time or something. That's not like my go-to, but I do that a little bit more than I do vertical. So I decided to cut that horizontally. Then the next piece, well, let me go on the order that they did it, was an 8 by 2, and I love this floral, and I wanted quite a bit of it to show, so I chose the floral. Then there was a 3.5 by 8, so you notice these are the same length. So you could think about it, you could even cut both pieces out of the floral and then butt it together and have one big floral piece if that's the type of layering that you like to do, and you know that you'd want a bigger piece. That would work. That's not cheating as long as it's cut in the 3, but you're never going to see where that's butted up if you wanted to do 2 of the same pattern. You can also offset them vertically or horizontally, but this was a 3.5 by 8. I decided I wanted to do something that was not quite as busy as this. So since it's on that blue background, it's kind of calming, even though it has that splash of confetti that can be very busy. The next piece was a 5x7. So when I always see sizes like that, I think photo mats, because that's just a little bit larger than a 4x6. So I could put a 4x6 on there. I could put 2 smaller photos on there, anything. I chose the green because this is the photo that I'm going to work with. This is a really old photo of my daughter when she was, I think she was 4 here. I don't, she was not very, she might have been 5. She has this green in her shirt, and I really want everything drawn into her. This photo's darker. It's not the best photo. It was just a snapshot of us. Probably really no lights on in the house or anything, but it's a photo I want to scrap, and I want to document the memory of it, so I don't care how glamorous the photo is. But because it had this green in here, I felt like this green underneath the photo would really make her pop off the page. So that was the reason that I chose the green. Then the next 2 were 1.5 by 2 inch and 1.5 by 3. Here again, this is another one you could do, you know, 2 different patterns. I always think when I see these, notching them and making little banners, poking them out. So you could do that. You could have 2 different patterns, put a little notch over here and have some banners coming out, or even straight looks good as well. You could also put them up here in the banner shapes and make a little banner at the top. So you can see, even as I'm explaining this and laying stuff down, even though I don't have a design in mind, you can tell what my kind of go-to is. So this in itself looks really good. I could sit and just glue this down and scrapbook it the way it is. But on these, I decided to go with pink for both sides. Now, of course, I can flip it over if it doesn't work, but what I'm thinking is that I can run it off both sides and do a banner, you know, something like that, where I could make it look like it's a big long strip. So I did decide to do those in the same color. These are some of the embellishments that I have picked out that came with the kit. Here was just some scraps of those medallion papers that I had cut out, just to kind of see if I wanted to fussy cut any of those. So those are my papers. Now I'm going to sit and play around and figure out how I want them. But like I said, just the way that I just kind of laid them there, that looks pretty good to me. So I may work something like that in. All right, so I'm going to speed you up and we're going to get this layout done. I really did end up liking how I had laid stuff out as I was explaining different possibilities, so I decided to go with it. I went ahead and adhered that script horizontally towards the bottom. That's going to be the base, and I'm going to end up doing like an L-shaped design. And I matted my photo on the green. I went ahead, right now I think it's kind of centered, but I'm going to pick it up and move it a little bit further to the right-hand side where there's more green showing on the left. Now these back pieces, I did decide to swap them and put the blue to the outside because it's heavier than that light floral that's on the white. So I wanted the darker, heavier color to the outside of the layout and the floral to the inside, so it just kind of flows into that background. If the blue had been on the inside, it would have been really jarring and really splitting the page in half. Then I decided those pink strips, I wanted, like I had said, I wanted to make it look like it was one big long strip. And so I'm just going to put them behind the photo in that mat. And I didn't go ahead and notch them like banner pieces. I left them straight. So everything in the designs, the papers and all that's very blocky. So you're going to see towards the end some embellishments that I pull out to kind of soften all of the blockiness up. But I'm not sure why I didn't go ahead and banner them now. It's been a while since I created the layout. You might have noticed as I was trying to explain in the beginning, I was stopped up, congested, and just not feeling my best. And so I decided not to torture you anymore, just give myself some time to rest and recoup. And so it's been a little bit since I laid it all out and created the layout. So again, I don't really quite remember, but I like the blockiness of it, and I like the embellishments that I added to soften it up. And so here you can see where I moved that photo over a little bit just so that I'd have more of that green showing. I wanted more of the pattern paper showing. So I have all of the basic backgrounds done, and now I'm ready to start embellishing. So I'm just starting the way I always do. I'm pulling out all of the things that I pulled thinking that they were possibilities, moving them around in the 3 little triangle areas that I'm going to embellish in until I can see where things will go. And I knew I wanted something more, and I had pulled a few little extra things from my stash to work with. And this one sticker sheet is from the Photo Play Summer Daydreams, and it had this Ferris wheel on it. And these photos are of my daughter with her fair entries and her ribbons. And so, you know, we don't go to the fair anymore. I don't have a lot of photos from the fair when they were little. I have quite a few of their ribbons when they would enter stuff every year. So I felt like this was a great way to get that Ferris wheel used up on a layout. And then here is a little banner sticker. It's a border strip, but it's banners, and that's from a really old collection, the Echo Park Sweet Girl collection, and I adored it, and in the color in it matched really well with everything from this Jelly Bean Soup collection that I'm working on. So I decided that was exactly what this layout needed to soften up all of those blocks of paper and designs. So I went ahead, since I was going to put that in, I needed to adjust my strips of paper, so I moved them down a little bit so I'd have plenty of headroom above my photo little cluster there going of my papers. So now I'm just kind of tweaking where all the layers are at to work with that banner. And you saw me punch the center of that Ferris wheel out. It had a saying on it, and it just did not go with my layout at all. And since this was going to be on the white cardstock, I decided to just get my circle punch and punch it out. Now there is that little bit of black and white, and I could have went back to my drawer to see if I had a little bit bigger circle to take it out, but I kind of liked it because it repeated the black from the pattern paper. And I'm going to pull some other embellishments, like that camera is from this same sticker sheet, I believe. It's either from Photo Play Summer Daydreams, or it could be from the Echo Park Party Time. Yeah, it's from Party Time, because I took a ticket, that blue ticket right there, and the camera is from that other one. So you can see I have 3 different collections that I'm using together, and they match perfectly. The little confetti on the camera matches the colors in the Ferris wheel, matches the flowers in the Jelly Bean Soup collection. So I ended up moving all of those flowers and things around until I got the cluster to the right the way that I liked it. I really wanted to include that ticket. Again, I don't have a lot of reasons to use tickets, but I wanted more of that blue to repeat from the blue pattern paper on the left. So having that blue camera and the blue ticket to the right just kind of helped to bounce those colors around. And then from the washi sticker sheet from the Jelly Bean Soup collection, it had this one washi strip that says, "Never let anyone dull your sparkle." And I thought that was perfect for her little, she's just so excited about her ribbons and her fair entries. And so I put that across that black border, or that horizontal strip. And even though I don't have enough to go on to the other side, on the left-hand side, you don't notice it, but it brings that turquoise blue over to the right-hand side of the layout and really balances those colors around. So I'm just going to pop dot the camera up so I have a little bit of dimension over there. And then the little flowers and the butterfly are from the Jelly Bean Soup ephemera pack. And that was just me able to repeat the pink into the 3 little cluster areas that I've got going. And then the little hearts here came from the ephemera pack as well, but I didn't have enough to repeat in all my areas. So I have the blue and the green, but I really wanted to pop something over to the bottom left cluster, and I end up finding on the washi sheet, you can see over there, there's that dark pink heart. So I spot it here in a little bit, so I just cut it out. Since it's kind of a clear washi background, you don't notice that it's not a cutout heart like the others. And I'm going to put it over here to the left-hand side on that cluster there. And then that little green banner, I wanted to repeat just a little bit more green. I put the green heart in the Ferris wheel. So there was this little label phrase that says "so much cuteness." Popped it down there because, again, she was wearing the green in her outfit, and that's why I chose that green for a photo mat. Just kind of pop that out. So I wanted to keep it close to the photo and really kind of bounce your eye around and draw it into her. Trying to think what else I did. The little medallion shapes that was on the patterned paper, I did go ahead and use this one here that was just a partial one that was on the edge of the paper. But I wanted just a little bit more blue up there, and so tucking that in, you don't see much of it, but it really makes a difference. If you'll just really study and look at your little clusters, even though you might have a small little piece, see, that's just 1/4 of that medallion. That may be all you have, but that may be all you need. That was just enough to really bring that little cluster up a notch. And then let's see, I also added the little happy tab up there, and I think that came with the Jelly Bean Soup collection. All of this, I'm not sure if I said in the intro, but this was all from the January flavors of the month and the January Freaky Fast Friday, so I'm a little late getting it up, but you can still play along, and I save these and work with them all the time. I'm going to finish it off with some gold color shine, and then I also take it to my sewing machine and I stitch over the pink banner, just a couple of little messy strips, and I sew across the black strip as well, just to add a little bit of texture. And I was showing there kind of where I might put my journaling, but I just pop a little bit in the center of that Ferris wheel. So here you can see the stitching, everything up close. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload my videos. And a thumbs up is always appreciated, and I love to read your comments, and I always try to reply. So have a great day and stay scrappy. We'll see you soon.